Hey there guys, Will Mitchell here. I'm coming to you live today from the beautiful island of Ambergris Caye, Belize. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the regional owner of all of Remax for Belize, so I oversee all 9 offices here. And today what I want to provide for you guys is a market update and answer some of the most commonly asked questions and also identify some top deals in the market. So what we're going to do, we're going to break down relocating to Belize, investing in Belize real estate as a foreigner. Can you spend time in Belize? What are the tax advantages of being in Belize? What are the key market drivers here? We're going to lay all of this out cleanly, and it's going to start big picture. We're going to start with the overview of Belize, and we're going to kind of narrow down into those opportunities at the end. So without further ado, let's dive into the information here. As I'm sure many of you know already, Belize is an English-speaking country. Its legal system is based on British common law. Now that's because it was a British colony. Some of you might remember Belize as British Honduras. When Belize gained its independence, it took the name Belize. And since then, it's actually adopted a lot of the things that the Brits had in terms of their legal system. The system is a parliamentary democracy. It's entirely based on British common law. And the real benefit of that is there's full foreign ownership within this market. So when you get a property, what you'll get is a fee simple title. You can have your name or your company's name on that title. I'll display one here for you guys to look at. And that's critical. When I was looking at where I was going to go in this region, the first check mark that a country or market had to have, what are the property rights? Can I really own the property there? Is my investment going to be secured? If I'm relocating, is there ever going to be an issue with someone coming and claiming ownership of my property? We're very fortunate in Belize that that's not the case, and this was the first thing we looked at when coming down. Relocating and living in Belize and investing in Belize. This is one of the most commonly asked questions, and I want to break this down really simply for you guys. When you come to Belize and you fly in, you'll fly in from wherever you're coming from to the Philip Goldson International Airport. When you land at Philip Goldson, you'll walk in to the airport, and then the customs agent will greet you. When they stamp your passport, what they're doing is issuing you a 30-day tourist visa. Now that visa can be renewed in perpetuity as long as you like. There's a monthly fee of about $100. And you can do that as long as you like. To own property here, like we already discussed, or to run a business here, you don't have to be a resident. You don't have to have any of those things. It's a very pro-foreign investment economy and country. You don't have to go through some of the stuff you might read online, like the QRP program, that's the Qualified Retired Persons Program, or some of these other incentives. The reality is you can simply enter on that tourist visa and stay. Now, if you want to take it one step further and get permanent residency, the process is very simple. There's 2 ways you can do it. The first way would be to renew that visa for a year. Then after you've done that, you can apply for your permanent residency. The second way is the investment residency program, which is a fantastic program the government put in place. If you invest $250,000 or more, then you can apply to be a permanent resident right when you've made that investment. So it's a great program. And behind that, there's the Qualified Retired Persons Program, which is put in place for people that are mainly looking to relocate to Belize for retirement purposes. They're not looking for investment properties. They're not looking to, have a job here. They really just want to kick back, lay on the beach, and enjoy the beautiful, jungle, beaches, all the stuff that Belize has to offer. So that allows you certain things to bring all your things in without customs duties and stuff like that. But the reality is, it's very important to know that you can just come in simply on that 30-day tourist visa. Come down here and get a job. That's the next thing I'd like to break down. The general rule of thumb is if you're taking a job that a local Belizean could do, you're not going to be able to get a work permit for that. But if you have some kind of specialty skill set, you could. But the most important thing to note is the country is very pro foreign investment. So if you're looking to create a business, or you want to start some type of new entrepreneurial endeavor that you're looking to do, you're going to have a fantastic time doing so. You don't have to be the most cutting edge business either down here. There's a lot of basic holes in the market where you can start a thriving business. And it's a very, very great opportunity right now in Belize for that. The way the government looks at it is if you're creating jobs for local Belizeans, they're going to incentivize that because it's growing the economy and it's creating jobs down here. So most people will look to start a business, and there's so many different opportunities for that down here. When we look at Belize, the next question for most people is where in Belize? Where should I be looking? What should I be looking at? And for me personally, I can tell you from my experience, when I came down here, I was looking for something with a strong, vibrant economy, more people that were relocating from the US and Canada, and far above and beyond all the other locations within Belize, that was and still is Ambergris Caye. For some people, they might want to find a remote location in the jungle for them just to have their personal privacy. and that's a great option as well. But for me, I was looking for a vibrant economy with great investment potential and a lot of people relocating here from the US and Canada. So Ambergris Caye is 24 miles long, it's 3 miles wide at its widest. The reef, the Belize Barrier Reefs, it's about 400 yards off the coastline. In terms of reef proximity to land, Ambergris Caye has the closest proximity. Actually, at the northern point of the island, the reef touches the island. There's a national park up there called the Boca Boca Chico National Park. And what's really amazing about Belize is that roughly 46% of its land is dedicated to national park and marine reserve. Now, there's two advantages of this. The first advantage is that there's obviously the beautiful waterfalls and jungles and coral reefs and the beaches of the Keys. All the most amazing things about Belize are protected. The secondary benefit is that you have a limit on the supply of available and developable real estate and land. So what does that do? As we see our tourist numbers increase, which I'm going to break down shortly here for you guys, and we have that limitation on the supply of land, what we see is appreciation in the real estate market, quite simply. So Ambergris Caye receives over 40% of the travelers from the US and Canada visiting Belize. In addition, over 70% of the tourism dollars are spent here. Also, it has the highest room rate within Belize on average. It ranges from $200 to $225 a night. Now you contrast that to most other major tourist destinations, and it's quite high. This is really an owners and landlords market. So for real estate investors and property owners here, they're the big time winners because it garners a much higher nightly rental rate at ADR, they call it average daily rate, than Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Placencia, San Jose, a lot of the major tourist destinations. Belize, and more specifically Ambergris Caye, the nightly rental rate here of $200 to $225 is much higher than anywhere else you'll see. So the next question that begs is, why is that? Well, what we've seen in Ambergris Caye, if we track the overall hotel inventory and rental unit growth, which the Belize Tourism Board provides this data, we're going to list it here for you guys, and I encourage you to go to the BTB's website and Google this. But the overall rental units went from, in 2012, they had 2,000 rental units. That was when they broke that threshold in this market. Now in 2020, there's 2,680 available rooms, or total rooms, and out of that, 2,200 rooms are in the nightly rental market. So when you look at the growth in inventory of about 200 rooms over 8 years, and then you factor in the growth in tourism, went from about 220,000 overnight arrivals to last year in 2019, we broke over 500,000 overnight arrivals. Many years we're seeing double-digit tourism growth. It does not take a mathematician to see there's a simple imbalance in the supply of rooms to the incoming supply of tourists. That drives our occupancy rates and it drives our rental rates up. Next question that begs is, why aren't we seeing this growth in rental inventory? Well, that really boils down to financing within this market. Belize is not a market where you see a lot of traditional bank financing. The reason for that is that Belize banks have the novel concept of a reserve requirement. So for every dollar deposited into their banking system, by law, they're required to maintain a 24-cent reserve requirement. They can only lend out 76 cents on that dollar. When you contrast that to the US and Canada, they have a fractional reserve system where they can lend upwards of $10 for every dollar deposited. It makes lending much cheaper, but at the same time, you're more prone to bank failures. So Belize is very, very much not prone to bank failures, but financing is much harder to come by. That's where creative financing, real estate syndications come into play, and the people that are finding ways to own property in this market are winning big time. Big time, big time, because there's that imbalance in the supply, and we're just seeing some of the highest occupancy rates, some of the greatest appreciation in the region. So what a lot of people will look for, and what the two deals we're going to identify at the end of this, they have this, is seller financing. So the owner of those properties said, look, I'm ready to get out of this property. I'm willing to finance the property that I'm selling, and we're going to identify two amazing deals that have that. But that's one of the ways people look. Other ways they'll look to use is IRA funds, doing a self-directed IRA or a 401k. You can actually use those if it's for strict real estate investment and there's no personal use aspect. A lot of people will use IRA funds, or maybe a syndication with a group of friends or a group of investors. They'll come together and develop something, and they're going to garner those high returns. So that's some of the ways people are entering the market. And that's a breakdown on what's happening within this market from a data point basis for you guys to really have a complete grasp of everything going on. The next big advantage that Belize has is the proximity to the US and Canada. Currently there's direct flights from Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, Calgary, Toronto, Miami, LA, New York, Denver, Charlotte. The list goes on and on. Basically any major hub now in the US or Canada has a direct flight to Belize or is getting one in the near future. The flight expansion and tourism data is some of our key market indicators that we look at. We're going to break those down for you guys in this presentation. But overall, the ease of access is tremendous. And when you look at baby boomers relocating or people looking to take a visit right now, it's a critical thing for that proximity to home. Also, they accept American dollars anywhere in the country and your credit cards will work. So it's very easy. The transition to being here is very simple and you have that proximity to home. So taxes in Belize. One of the most common questions that people ask, what's the tax situation there? I want to break it down really simply for you guys. In Belize, there's very, very low property taxes. They're paid once per year in April. The rate is about 1 to 1.5% of your property value, and that's paid annually, so it's a one-time thing. Just to give you an example, the average size vacant lot in Belize, in Ambergris Caye I should say, will range anywhere from 75 to a couple $100 a year in property taxes. So we're talking about something that's extremely insignificant. If you look at the other kind of array of taxes we have, there's no estate tax, there's no capital gains tax in Belize. It is a T8 tax haven, so there's a lot of advantages that it affords you in terms of taxes down here. Your rental properties are generally taxed on a 15% of your gross income basis, and that's about it. So in terms of taxes, it's extremely favorable, and it's one of the big reasons why so many investors are looking at Belize. So Ambergris Caye, we've discussed that it receives, over 40% of the tourism. It garners the highest occupancy rate. So as an investor, you can really zero in here. The next question is where within Ambergris Caye? As we discussed, the development took place almost entirely on the East Coast because of the reef. When you look at a major tourism destination, the coveted coastline would almost always be the West Coast. Why is that? Well, it has the sunset view. Not many people are up at 5:30 to watch the sunrise. Just about everybody is up at 5:30 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. to watch the sunset. And there's some of the most beautiful sunsets along the West Coast here. So up until about 8 years ago, you didn't even have a road access to get over to the west side of the island. Until the Mata Grande road going east-west was developed and built, there was really no way of accessing that unless you went on a boat. So it was really pretty much a secret. So when the road was put in place and properties were subdivided in that area, that was kind of the inception of the whole West Coast. A few years after that, people started going there, and that's when the term secret beach was coined. That's the term for the point where the east-west road hits. It's really the only road access point along the west side of the island. And from there, the expansion has been unbelievable. You see bars, restaurants, everything being developed along the coastline. Bed and breakfast, Airbnbs developing inland. Everybody has the vision right now to secure a beachfront property here. A lot of the beachfront properties have already seen a pretty significant appreciation. For example, if you're looking at a lot with no road access, beachfront, you're looking at about $150,000 with no financing. There's still some really good beachfront deals on the market. But it's really important for people to know that the beach is public access. All the beaches in Belize. It's a 66-foot beach reserve. It's called the Queen's Beach. So anywhere you go, you can access the beaches, and no one's allowed to kick you off of that beach. So for me personally, as an investor, I'm looking for the opportunity that has the most upside. I very much prefer the lots that are off the beach. You can find some amazing deals right now. Today there's some lots that are going for even $30,000. We're going to show you a couple of these lots. They have 20% down financing, but those are the opportunities that really have the potential to double or triple, especially when you consider fully serviced lots on the island. The average in San Pedro, it's about 60,000 roughly. If you're looking at the lots there, they're about 30, and there's already plans in place to bring those things into play on that side of the island. So it's really an inevitability at this point. And smart investors are looking at these inland lots, and there's a tremendous amount of people securing them from abroad for land banking or to develop a bed and breakfast, whatever the case may be. But the West Coast is really where the next surge of development is going to be. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to drive all the way up to Secret Beach from here. It's about from town a few miles. And I'm going to go up there, I'm going to film these opportunities, I'm going to talk with them right on the site, And after that, if anyone has any questions about those, they can reach out to me, or any questions at all in general. I'm happy to help with anything, whatever the goals are. Myself and my team, we have some of the best guys. Trevor Stack, Dustin, Rennie, a lot of you guys are probably communicating with these guys already. These are some of the most knowledgeable guys in the market, and really, please use them as a resource, use me as a resource. All of us, we want to help and do whatever we can. So I'm going to head up now, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. So guys, when you do secure a lot of people want to build right away, some people don't. Like I said before, you have the timeline, you can do what you want. If you want to buy and hold for the future, you can. Some people choose to develop right away. What I'm standing on is there's a couple that bought these 2 lots here. They've developed these simple white cabanas, they're rental units. They're going to do their home over there. They bought 4 lots. They're going to have the 3 rental units. They're going to do a nice pool in the middle. And this is a very common model. So when you do decide you want to build, you don't have to go this route. A lot of people go with these prefabricated units that are shipped in because it's very easy. But as long as you adhere to the local building authority's guidelines of a 5-foot setback from the sides of a lot and a 10-foot setback from the front and back, no structures above 3 stories, you're pretty much good to go. You can work with whatever builder you want. We can recommend guys that can build on site, or you can go with this, or some people just buy the lots to hold. It's complete flexibility for the owner. That's why this is such a popular area. So guys, the first opportunity I want to identify for you is parcel 8017. It's a lot on the main road going to Secret Beach here. So there's exposure of hundreds and hundreds of cars every day. This is perfect for a commercial business. You can set up some simple kiosks, lease each kiosk out on a triple net lease, no expenses, and basically just take all that income for yourself. The kiosk that I personally built cost about $3,700 per unit. You can do something different, and I've done the exact same model and rented these things out before, so this is a very easy model to buy for appreciation or for rental. There's the road lot here, and then 3 lots behind it where you can set something up here. This is an amazing opportunity. This property is going right now for $37,500 with 20% down finance. The next opportunity, this is 32 lots that were filled, cleared, prepped, that have been brought to the market. There's only a few of them left at this point. The area we just filmed with all the new houses is right over there. Secret Beach is right down the road that way. The main road is over here. These lots are going for $35,000 with 20% down financing. It's one of the best opportunities because each filling and grading process can cost $7,000 per lot. It's already done, they're ready to be built on. It's a great opportunity right now, so this is one of the deals we're highlighting. And if you're interested in this, we have all the copies of the titles, all the due diligence you would need to secure one of these, and we're happy to help you do so. Interested in this, or if you're interested in learning more, shoot me a message. We can answer the questions about the properties. If you have questions about Belize in general, we can help. It doesn't matter what, me and my team are happy to help. If you just want to meet up when you get down here and pick our brains, we're out here, so we're more than happy to do anything we can. And if you do want to secure one of these properties, let us know, and we're happy to help you guys do so as well and tell you what the next steps are. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I look forward to hearing from you.